but by now, this fourth Buddhist Council in India, convened and attended by members of Sarvastivada schools. Okay, regarding what Buddhist school this and that, we talk next week, next lesson. That's why Theravada and the Wadins do not recognize this meeting, and third council of Theravada only recognized by Theravada. So every school they have their own meeting. But why we bring up this? Because this one is important in the history of Buddhism, even though it's not important for Theravada, but overall history of Buddhism, this is an important meeting. So we call it meeting of Theravada, because this is after the first, second, third, and normally people knows about this three meeting. We call fourth meeting in India, not a fourth meeting in Sri Lanka. Be careful. So this one, why? First thing we have to talk about the reason of calling this meeting one, right? So during the first or second century, first century BCE, the time Northwest India was ruled by what we call the Kanishka, Kusana Empire. Kusana Empire is a very powerful empire, not only cover the northern India, northwest India, also in whole Central Asia, including Xinjiang. So it's very bigger than Asoka's empire. Okay. But this one not by Indian, by Yue originally from Dunhuang, China. Later, they migrated to Central Asia and settled down in Bactria. Bactria is in northern Afghanistan. So Bactria. There, they expanded the kingdom, conquered Central Asia, Xinjiang, Northwest India, Northern India. Then they have the capital in Northwest India, near Gandhara, the site, northern Pakistan. So the most powerful king called Kanishka. King Kanishka. I know. So why Kanishka convened this meeting? Because this, by the way, this Kusana kingdom, in fact, almost all their emperor, all their kings were Buddhist, even though they are foreigner, non-Indian. But those nomadic tribes in Central Asia, when they conquer India, they influenced by the Northwest Indian monk. Just like the Greek, when Alexander the Great invaded northern India, a lot of his general and the army also stationed in Northwest India. And later, they also became Buddhist. For example, Miranda, King Miranda, Greek, not Indian. He's not Indian. So this Kanishka, Yue, not Indian, empire called Kusana Empire. So he became Buddhist. He was keen to study, to know the doctrine of Buddha. So he every now and then a Buddhist monk here give him talk, give him lecture, teach him. Next day another monk came, taught him again. So every now and then a different monk preach him. He learn from different monks. But different monks give different version, because there are so many different schools in Northwest India. They have Mahayana, was very powerful in Northwest India. Mahayana monk, they don't know Theravada those days, almost none in Northwest India. It's a powerful place for Sarvastivada. Sarvastivada, Mahasangika, Dhammaguttaka, Mahayana. So many different schools of Buddhism, in Northwest India. So there are different type of monk So their teaching also more or less a bit different here, a bit different there. So this king, every now and then he couldn't differentiate what. Ask this monk or give me a talk about this anicca or give me talk about that. So different monk, of course, they give slightly different teaching. So he also confused, you see. Why? What's question? No, So he confused. So he decided to call a meeting, to sort out this problem. That's a main cause. When and where? There was a meeting of Sarvastivada school held in Northwest India in a place near Kashmir, modern day Kashmir there, Northwest India, during the reign of King Kanishka. That time was 1st century BCE up to 4th century Common Era. That means about 2,000 years ago. So was held in Kashmir about 2,000 years ago. During the time that this King Kanishka was perplexed by the different answer, different interpretation given by different monks on the Buddha's teaching. Because there were so many different schools there. So you talk according to your understanding, the Mahayana also talk about understanding of. So he confused. Now as a beginner, so Mahayana talk about this, and next day Theravada talk about it. You also confused, correct or not? So that's why the king called a meeting. So in order to arrange and standardize the teaching, a meeting was called under patronage of King Kanishka. So he was the one who initiated the meeting, sometime at the end of 2nd century Common Era. Some say first, some say second. Never mind. It's about 2,000 years ago. So the meeting was presided Vasumitra. So the text, Chinese text says that only Sarvastivada monk, all the monk who attended the meeting mainly belong to Sarvastivada school. You see. So during a school, they standardized the teaching. They chanted everything plus the commentary. They compile the commentary. So at the end of meeting, new canon Sarvastivada commentary were compiled, written in Sanskrit. So Sarvastivada school, they did not use so-called Magadhi or Padi. So different Buddhist school are different script and different languages. So later I will explain to you when you learn Buddhist schools, 18 Buddhist school, different school with different, use different language, they call Prakrit, different script, depending on the area. In Northwest India, they use Gandhari, script Kharosti. So in this case, the Sarvastivada school, they use Sanskrit for the text, you see. So at the end of meeting, they compile their sutta as well as a commentary. The commentary they call Vibhasa. But Theravada's commentary they call what? Atthakata. To them, they use Vibhasa. They call Vibhasa on the three. They have 3 Pitakas also in Sanskrit. So because in the northwestern side, either they use Sanskrit or they use Gandhari, language-wise. Script, they mainly use Kharosti script, Kharosti, written in Kharosti script. Earlier version was Gandhari, Gandhara. So the language called Gandhari. So Makada, Makadi. Correct or not? For convenience sake lah. So northwestern side, Sarvastivada school was dominant. So this meeting was attended by the monk. They compiled their Tipitaka as well as the commentary called Vibhasa. They used Kharosthi script to write down their text in Sanskrit. For Sarvastivada, they use Sanskrit. Other school, they may use Gandhari. Okay. So now the very important text in Chinese translation is Mahavibhasa. Have you heard of Mahavibhasa Kosa? Okay. Mahavibhasa for Sarvastivada. These are the very important text. Mahavibhasa, the commentary on their Abhidhamma. They have 7 texts of Abhidhamma. Just like Theravada also has 7 texts. So nowadays there are only 2 schools that got complete 7 Abhidhamma texts. One is Pali, Theravada in Pali. The other one is the Sarvastivada's text in Sanskrit. Now original version lost, now in Chinese translation. The Sarvastivada's Abhidhamma. Okay. So after that, instead of Theravada inscribed on the Ola leaf, they use a copper plate, copper square inscribed on a copper plate, and they kept inside the stupa, embedded into stupa. Just like nowadays, the Mahakaruna temple in Shalam, copper plate, right or not? The sutta, right? Copper plate put inside the stupa, correct or not? So they follow the ancient practice. All the sutta, they always write down on a piece. Now, those days they use copper plate, put inside the stupa. That's a tradition. So commentary of the Pitaka consists of 100,000 slokas. They call sloka, the verses. Theravada, they say verses. 100,000. That means very big volume. Commentary, those days, one piece, they write. Written inscribed on a copper plate, enclosed in the stone boxes, put in a stone boxer, the whole box deposit inside the stupa. That's a ancient practice. Until today, people still follow in it. Mahakaruna, Bodhiwana, Sungai Pelek. You went or not?
Vihara.
They put inside there. So you all use what? Copper plate iron. Copper,
We use brass plate, brass.
What verses? So important thing. What teaching? Which sutta?
Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, Ratana Sutta, Sivali Yantra, and one of the Dhammapada sayings.
But those days,
Mm.
in Bujang Valley, for example, in fact, in whole South Asia, nowadays the archaeologists excavated all the old stupa, old temple. They found out a lot of what we call clay tablet, right? Not sun-dry clay tablet. That means a block, rectangular block, not wooden block, made of something like brick, clay, dry. They inscribe a lot of Buddhist verses inside the stupa. Sometimes the stone, big stone, inscribed. Bujang Valley and Bujang, the museum, you see the stone or not? Excavated stone. All the verses surrounding the stone. Those, what verses are, what meaning of the verses? Those say very important. Causation. Asaji spoke to who? Sariputta. You remember or not in Rajagaha?
Yeah.
When Sariputta asked, what's your teacher's teaching?
Yeah.
Asaji say, I'm very new. I cannot remember everything. But Sariputta say, give me a gist of it, just a summary. So Asaji decided, whatever right, this thing will right. This thing, those Caesars, that one also Caesar. This is a master's teaching. This one is a gist of Buddha's teaching. So every temple those days, they can't afford to copy the big volumes and put inside temple. They use a small piece of clay, dry it, inscribe these verses. Only few lines only, right? That represent the essence of Buddha's teaching already. So that one is good enough already. Okay. So nowadays in Bujang, you notice, you don't just look at the stone, no meaning. You look at what inscribed on the stone. The stupa, you don't look at the stupa, the design that is inscribed on the stone, right? Not
in Bujang Valley, Brother, the inscription, it was on what language?
In Indian, South Indian, the South Indian script.
South Indian script.
The Pali, the so-called Pali verses.
Magadhi lah.
The so-called Magadhi lah, but the script itself in the ancient Tamil script. You see the curve and curve and curve, right or not? The stone there. The one is, look at all these artifacts, historic, important is the content. It's not the whole stone. Oh, look at this stone. Oh, look at the stupa.
Yeah.
Teaching inside there. That gives you the meaning. Because the people, the important thing, the Buddha's teaching, the short verses inscribed onto it. And then they praise it in the temple.
Yeah.
Make it an offering, you see, because that is the essence of Buddha's teaching. Those who see the causation, the Dhamma Chakra, see the Dhamma. Those who see the Dhamma, see this dependent origination. This causation is something like a short version of dependent origination. Okay, so every temple in Southeast Asia, they have excavated. When they say they have found a tablet, a stone tablet, or clay tablet, or big stone with the inscription, they sure find these verses, Asaji's verses. Asaji, this is a long tradition. It's a long established those days. Nowadays, I don't know, maybe they use a full version because you can write very tiny, small piece.
What is slokas, Brother?
Sloka same as verses.
Verses, okay.
That's why they use vibhasa.
100,000 verses.
And they call vibhasa, means kata-kata, commentary. Okay. Copper plate. Those days they use copper already, copper plate.
It's lighter. I think nowadays many temples also use copper plates because it's very light.
Put inside there. They won't, no rusting. They keep for a long time. They'll deposit inside the stupa. That's an ancient practice. So we was wondering why nowadays we build stupa here, put all this thing inside. This is long established history. Even 2,000 years ago, Fourth Council that time, people already put in Sarvastivada, they inscribed the commentary, the teaching on a copper plate, put inside stupa. That's in Northwest India 2,000 years ago. Even though in Theravada we can't find, we still can, but that one later, as I told you, in Bujang, that was later. About 3rd century, Bujang, the few pieces are dated 3rd to 4th century or 5th century. But this Sarvastivada copper plate, 1st or 2nd century, slightly earlier on. That means the same type of practice, whether in Southeast Asia, in Northwest India, they have this practice.
But why do they put in the Abhidhamma? Sorry, the commentary.
So long as the Buddha, they call it a Buddha's teaching and put inside. Important thing, Buddha's teaching, put inside.
Is it because they purposely put inside the stupa so that in future maybe
many
thousand years then the things is disappear already. Then when people found it, then they will
That's
recognize
one
this
thing.
is this
That's
is one of
thing.
the reason, is it?
That's not the main. That's one of the reason lah.
Ah,
Because during Buddha's time,
what
happened after the Parinibbana?
The Buddha teaching was
The Buddha didn't appoint any.
No. The after cremation, Buddha's relics embedded inside the stupa. Correct or not? So why? When you see stupa, you see Buddha. No. A fragment inside. So after that, instead of no more Buddha's relics available for you to put in, what all the new subsequently where to find out stone, right or not? So what they put the Dharma. You see Dharma, you see Buddha.
Oh, okay.
So Dharma means Buddha. You see the Dharma, you see the Buddha. Correct or not? So instead of Buddha's relic, you put the Dharma inside.
Okay.
That's the reason.
Because I heard one of the teachers say that is because maybe many years, 1,000 years later, the Buddha teaching was disappear in the world, and then with this sutta plate, then people will
That is
recall
one thing.
Buddha teaching.
But if you say this, you might put all the Buddha's teaching inside. Why put only one piece or two pieces? You really want people to remember the whole lot, you must put inside. You see? So this is symbolic, symbolism.
Yes. Yeah.
You see this, you see Buddha. That's why they worship stupa. You see? Worship stupa, pay respect to stupa, not only because the building is so beautiful. Like it. There's a symbolism, the collection, the mind for you to recollect. You look at the Buddha's statue, people they don't know, say, oh, this is stone, what? Why you pay respect? Symbolism for you to recollect. You see?
Like the Fakong San one, the new one, they also
yes.
already a lot of sutta inside that one,
Yes, the sutta, the same thing, the teaching inside. When you see teaching, you see Buddha. You see the stupa, you see the teaching, you see the presence of Buddha. Same thing, same meaning.
Okay.
Anything? 5:40, 20 minutes more.
Oh, today so early one.
Yeah, today the topic very short.
Today fewer slides.
Sometimes I cannot finish.
Yeah. Okay,
So anything else?
Brother, yeah. Beside of just now, you mentioned the place, the fourth, what is that? To go at the Sri Lanka. Any other places? Any other places that you recommend?
You want to talk about historic and things related to Buddhism directly. Anuradhapura, Mihintale, and Matale. So subsequent to this, also Buddhist side, you go to the second capital, Ponalula. Ponalula is quite close to Sirigya. Sirigya is not directly related to Buddhism, it's subsequently. It's a subsequent history, or because of fighting, the king built a palace there or something like that. Talk about development of Buddhism, Sirigya, Matale.
Sirigya.
No, not Sirigya. Anuradhapura, Mihintale. Mihintale, you can find Mihintale important because the Mahinda landed there. And then Mahinda got a cave there where he spent his Vasa meditation. The cave still there. And Mahinda's stupa, with ashes, relics inside the ashes. So also in Anuradhapura. So these few related to early Buddhism. Then the fourth council where Buddha's teaching was written down, black and white, Matale. So other places like Dumbula is strictly for you to see lah. Is a the cave temple lah. But Sirigya not directly related to it. Is it? Kandy the relic because their history lah, because the so-called Buddhas took the relics was
Buddha
taken
took
from
relics,
South
yes.
India to Kandy for safekeeping. So after 1,000 years already belongs to Sri Lanka. Whether the one is a took relic or not is a traditional belief. Why not traditional? If you talk to Sri Lanka, you will get angry.
Yeah, there are so many people, you have to queue in to go in, brother Yap.
Not
So-
everyone can go,
In,
Not everyone. The monk or nun need to have the connection.
Yes, you need to
Invited.
know the chief monk, only you can go in and see.
Yes, according to tradition, is it?
Sorry,
Tradition you just pay respect, thinking this is what you call it Buddha's one. That's okay lah.
So cannot really see one. It's such a short time, we go in and then bow.
But if you want to talk,
then
say
go out.
genuine relics one, India or 2 places only lah. Patna Museum and the Delhi Museum. That's all. Delhi Museum, with Buddha's relic bone fragments. These 2 places. Okay.
Brother Yap,
Recording first. This is a general discussion.
Stop recording.
Stop
Okay,
recording.
for a minute,
Brother Yap.